How's it going, guys? It's me, the Domo here today with Konozuora ni Tsubasa Hirogete, and as I promised you, we are going to go fly into the clouds and achieve our dream and reach the morning glory. So everyone is getting into position. Let's continue. This is going to be a long episode, guys. From what I'm getting at. Monty and I got into our seats and the cockpits. Let's roll. Get suited up and ready to go. Ooh. No problem. Okay, I'll use full rudder from the start. Now in my headset it feels like it's a legit thing. Alright, let's get this done. I push down the rudder pedal even though we're not moving yet. If we are hit with a crosswind during takeoff, the glider's nose will face into the wind. This is called the weather vane effect. By turning the rudder in the opposite direction, we can reduce the weather vane effect. However, because the rudder has almost no effect until we pick up speed, we need to push the rudder pedal before launch and gradually release it as we accelerate. This is the first time we've taken off in such a strong wind. Yes, it is, and we will, even though there's no challenge, we will do it, we will complete it. This kind of feels like a rehearsal, but oh gosh, I'm sorry if that hurt anyone's ears, but we have to do it. Dude, was that English just now? It's like, the runway is clear! Agila came to let us know that there are no obstructions in the runway. We are ready for takeoff. Then, moving around to the side of the glider, she lifts up the left wing a little higher than usual. The wind is blowing from the front right direction. If the wings are horizontal during takeoff, the wind from the side will go under the right wing, messing up balance. That's why we need to launch with the right wing a little lower to stop the crosswind from going under it. To maintain the bank angle at which Akira is tilting it, I move the yoke to the right to operate the right aileron. Launch preparations complete. Here we go, Amane. Amane replied nervously. I give the thumbs up to Ageha outside. So excited, guys. Ooh, creek. The moment Aka gave us a signal, the wind started moving as if it couldn't wait. The glider steadily accelerates. Oh man, this honestly is really giving me goosebumps. I pull back on the yoke. You got it, Aka. Leaving behind Agea, who is holding up the wing and running with us, the glider floated into the air. Okay, Monty. The glider wobbled like crazy when the crosswind hits it. We're okay, we're leveled out. As we accelerate, the ailerons start working and we're able to maintain the bank according to the crosswind. Tilting the rudder in the direction of the incoming wind, the glider steadily rises into the sky. Oh, our airspeed is really fast. We're climbing much more quickly than usual. Even it looks like we're flying at the same speed, if the headwind is strong, the speed of the wind hitting the glider, in other words, the airspeed is different. Ah man, so much words. When the airspeed is high, lift increases, which causes the aircraft to rise. Today the wind is strong. The power of the winch pulling us fights against the power of the main wings lifting us up, causing the glider to shake. Releasing just before passing over Katori's head, who is operating the winch, I release the tow rope. Whoosh. Free from the force that was holding us down, the glider was suddenly thrown up in the air. I immediately turned around and checked that the tow rope has been released. Okay. I checked the altitude on the altimeter. We are currently 300 meters above the ground. Yes, we're halfway there. Then I looked up at the sky below. Sky above. There it is. Outside the dome-shaped canopy, all I could see was the sky. A sky changing from night to morning. Indigo, orange, and pale yellow. The morning sun paints a complex gradient as far as the eye can see. And there, in the middle of a straight line of clouds stretched out, there it is. Amazing. I felt like I was being sucked into it as I stared at this spectacle. Meanwhile, clutching the yoke, I somehow managed to maintain our position. The airflow is getting really rough. It's taking everything I got just to keep our position. On days when the airflow is stable, I only need to hold the yoke lightly. However, in these rough skies, the glider is shaking all the time, and we don't know when it'll be hit with sudden winds. I need all my concentration as the glider takes the wind. I'm fine. More importantly, can you search for some thermals, Mane? Mane looks outside the canopy and searches for places where thermals may occur. Yeah, we have to ride them to go up. Clouds are the markers used for finding thermals. Clouds are formed when the warm upward drafts are cooled in the sky. Therefore, the thermals are usually below them. As I watch the variometer, I fly based on guesswork. The variometer is one of the instruments in the glider that tells us whether it is rising or descending based on the atmospheric pressure. If there is a sudden change in the variometer, it's possible that we've entered a thermal without realizing. There's no reaction, huh? The reaction from the variometer was slow and the glider was gradually decreasing. Man, we need to go higher. We need to soar to the sky. Sora! There you go. Amani called from the front seat. Where? 4 o'clock, yokai. Roger. I pull the yoke to the right and push the rudder pedals and the glider turns. Oh, the rudder feels heavy. When the ailerons of the rudder take strong winds, they become heavier, but that means that their effect is stronger. Ooh, good turn. Is that it? In my field of vision, I can see the small cloud Amani had found. It was a small, fine, elongated cloud. Please let this work. I feel like I'm praying as I fly under the cloud. We continue for a while and we don't seem to be hitting any thermals. After all, we can't see them, so we really don't know if they're there or not. Where is it? I go to turn so that we can head towards another area then. Whoosh. Whoa! Suddenly the left wing lifts up, tilting the aircraft. Yes, I know. This wasn't the feeling of being shaken by a crosswind. Rising thermal gaze to the wings. Gotta go higher. I quickly turn the rudder to the left. The variometer reacts. The glider was rising. Yes! We've entered a thermal. As we confirm that, I continue to turn the glider. Thermals extend upwards through the atmosphere like a pillar. In most cases, the strongest lift is in the center, known as the core. Normally, it gradually gets weaker the further you go towards the outside. That's why, if you want to climb higher, you have to get as close to the core of the thermal as possible. I turn the glider to search for the core. The variometer tells us that we are rising. We are getting closer and closer to the core. Said Amani as she looked into the instruments. I tried to keep the glider circling in the same area in an attempt to rise in the core of the thermal. Ooh. Alright, we're climbing. Through the seat, I felt that the glider was rising. It's jokingly called the ass meter, but you can feel all sorts of G-forces through the seat, and it's one of the sensations that are more important for piloting a glider. That's because the thing that informs you of the glider's reactions the quickest is not the instruments, it's the seat that is in direct contact with your body. While getting a positive response and not wanting to lose it, I paid close attention while operating the controls. Yes, we're gradually rising, guys. We're almost there. Yes, we need to be at least 600.
気流が荒れてるみたいですけど、上空はどうですか？かなり荒れているが、でも大丈夫だ。葵くんが頑張ってくれてる。なんとか順調みたいね。そのまま雲の上まで行っちゃって。そうしたいのは山々だが。どうかしたんですか？もう少し上昇したら、このサーマルから離れる。どうして？リフトが弱くて上昇速度が遅い。これじゃ間に合わない。
What? We won't be able to rise any higher here. The G-forces that felt so strong at first were now getting weaker. Oh shit, it does sound like that, huh? We'd risen to a certain extent, but we were now just maintaining the current altitude. If we stay here like this, the thermal might grow and we might be able to gain stronger lift. Well, if we think about the time, it's quite likely that'll happen. This is because thermals get bigger as the sunlight hits the earth, which heats quicker than the air. And with this level of heat, the air close to the ground warms up, causing thermals too. Since last night was so cool, when the morning sun hits the earth, more and more strong thermals will start rising. But we don't have time for that. If we wait a little longer for the sun to come up completely, the morning glory will disappear. We're getting out of this thermal. As we look up to the morning glory in the distance, we flew out of the thermal. We gotta find another one. Rising air currents. Yeah, we have. Thermals are often thought to extend straight up like a pillar to the air, but actually they don't go straight up. In the same way that smoke is blown by the wind, thermals twist when hit by the wind from the side. While we were climbing in the thermal that was leaning to one side because of the wind, we've moved further away from the morning glory. The morning glory doesn't just stay in one place. It is rotating as it rolls, moving across the lake. If it gets too far away, then we'll have no means of catching up with it other than falling to increase our propulsion, which makes things a little difficult. Increasing speed. I push the yoke forward, pointing the nose downwards. While sliding down in the air, the glider accelerates. Whenever the nose is pointing downwards, the ground always comes into view. Amane, who is scared of heights, stifles her screams. I'm sorry, Amane, just hold into it. Amane, we'll be okay. The glider will not fall. I will make sure of that. Oh yes, we're right next to it. We've caught up with it. Yes, right below it. Yeah, we have to look up just to see it. To get back to that altitude we lost, we need to search for the next thermal. In theory, they occur more easily above ground than that looks like soil or wide areas of asphalt like parking lots. Where at? Money pointed towards the runway from which we had taken off. Yes, perfect. It was a wide area of soil in the sunlight. It certainly met the conditions needed for thermals to be made easily. Alright, let's do this. Don't panic, we're just searching for thermals. That's right.
けどこの時間帯じゃサーマルを見つけるのも大変よね。ちょうどいい場所にこれから発達しそうな雲でもあればいいんだけど。他に何か目印はないの？あとは実際に飛んでみるしか。もう少しなのに。双眼鏡貸して。何かないか探してみる。
We did get some lift above the runway after all. Yes. but it was weak. It wasn't enough to raise the heavy double-seater glider. It must be because the ground hasn't warmed up enough to create strong thermals. Damn it. Are there any around here? In the meantime, the glider is gradually descending. Ugh. Then the wind came. Perhaps because of the influence of the morning glory, the airflow is being disturbed. The glider wobbles as it is hit by the strong winds, temporarily reducing the lift and causing a drop in altitude. Oh no. I start to feel impatient. Should we have stayed over there after all?
でもそれだと
The cloud from before was moving even further away from the direction we want to head in. Even if we can't rise to the altitude we need, we would be too late. How much time has passed since we took off? Meanwhile, the sky has become brighter and has changed from the morning glow to light blue.
届かないんだろうか
Don't think that Amane will make it, Amane mumbled to herself, while looking up at the passive cloud stretching across the sky. No, that's not true. It's right in front of us.